Okay. So Battlefield just posted a community update. I saw they also had some Q&A stuff. I'm not sure if it's also going to be included on this, but I figured we'd go over it because one of the questions that I keep asking is, when are we getting proximity chat? We also, of course, have Wake Island. That's going to be coming. We just got season 4. This came out yesterday. It's got 200,000 views on it. And I know most people don't actually even go to Twitter. It might be in-game somewhere too, but I've never actually seen it, so we'll see. Anyways, what's next for Battlefield 6? We've got custom lobbies and spectator mode, which I did see a post differentiating on the Q&A. Proximity chat, maps in Season 5, which, of course, is going to be next season. Server browser and matchmaking, that's what they said is coming in Season 5. Platoons as well, which is kind of like clans. Multiplayer leaderboards and multiplayer ranked. I played a little bit of ranked for RedSec, and that's the Battle Royale mode, and did absolutely so miserable in it. We just went back to playing the game for fun and had way more fun, so this will be very interesting. I'm curious to see how many of you guys are interested in ranked as well. Then they got weapons, vehicles, balance, more Discord Q&A. They've been doing a lot of Q&A, which is nice to see, but let's just see what their overview is. Hey everyone, Season 4 is now underway, bringing naval warfare to Suru Reef and a new chapter for Battlefield 6. Since our last roadmap update in June, several features and improvements have moved closer to release. Prox shot, with more arriving throughout the season. We want to share the latest on what players can expect next. August, Season 4, Phase 2, Custom Lobbies, Spectator Mode, and Wake Island. September for Season 4, Phase 3. So that's how they differentiated it. In COD terms, we usually call it like mid-season updates, but in Battlefield, they're, I guess, phases. So Phase 1 of season launch, Phase 2 is there. Phase 3 will be Prox Chat. Winter Season 5 will be Platoon, server browser, multiplayer leaderboards, and 3 new maps. 3 new maps to me is the key thing here. In the past, we've been getting 2 maps per season. One of them's like a throwback map anyways, but they're going to be shifting to 3 maps per season, which I think is fantastic. Back in the day, we used to get a 4-map drop, and it was super gas, it was super hype. Off of that, even if it was a 4-map bring back like they did at the beginning of Battlefield 4. We all recently brought developers from across Battlefield Studios together for another Discord live Q&A. Of course, the scheduled 60-minute Q&A session, the team answered 50 questions. This is what I mean by them. They're doing a lot of communication in Q&A and like answering stuff. There's plenty more ahead for Battlefield 6, from features arriving later in Season 4 to new maps, social tools, and other updates planned for Season 5. Below is a closer look at what is coming next, including the next new milestones and ways players will help shape these experiences through Battlefield Labs, which most of you guys already know about. Some people were even like, how do you play this early or whatever? I want to get in on it. If you ever want to get in on early stuff, Labs. That is how you go and test stuff and play it early if you are interested in any of that. Custom lobbies and spectator mode. So custom lobbies and spectator mode are going to be arriving in Phase 2 with the Top Gun on August 18th through Battlefield Labs. Through Battlefield Labs is live. What? Building on the foundations of Portal, custom lobbies will give hosts more direct control when setting up and running a match. Hosts will be able to assign players to specific teams, adjust select match settings, and organize private sessions or community tournaments, with spectator mode providing ways to follow the action. That's kind of sick. We could even host our own custom competition in the community here if we had something like that. That's been part of the problem with Portal, is they have a lot of tools and stuff, but none of them are all the way there to where you can really take full advantage of it. And that's across many different aspects of them. But even for like Portal Battle Royale modes, for like their RedSec, you still don't have enough control in even that. Most games are pretty much like that. Warzone's kind of like that too. They don't usually give you enough to make it like really great. PUBG did a lot of this back in the day, and surprisingly, they went the whole way. Like, it was actually insane. You could spectate, you can kick people from games. Like, you add people to a game, you can't even kick them out of the game. So there's a lot of stuff that's missing. So I guess this is going to be the differentiation. They've had a lot of problem with like bot lobbies and stuff on Portal with XP farms and stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons they keep ripping features out rather than being able to even add them in, which is kind of the saddest part, but it is what it is. Initial support will include Battle Royale quads and Conquest, with additional modes planned as future expands, which I think those are probably the most competitive style ones that you would see. But that's very interesting. So it does include quads on this for BR. Also interesting that they don't call it RedSec here. They just call it Battle Royale, right? That's because Battle Royale is very clear. You know what they're talking about with that to everybody. RedSec is a little bit more convoluted. That's one of the reasons I think that's not really a great game. That's also why I don't stream in the RedSec category, because nobody knows what RedSec is. They're like, what is that? Is that the Battle Royale? People know what Battle Royale is. They don't know what RedSec is, right? Basic information there. Anyways, more information in these features will be shared with the Top Gun update. Top Gun updates on the 16th or 18th, August 18th. So that'll be sick, hopefully. Proximity chat. The first iteration of Prox Chat is coming season 4, phase 3. So that's going to be after the Top Gun integration. Then we're going to have Title Strike on September 15th through Battlefield Labs is live. I don't know what that means. Through Battlefield Labs is live. I don't know. Maybe it means though. Like although Battlefield like Labs is already testing it, but it's going to be live at that point. Or maybe it's not even going to be out. Maybe it's not going to be out and they're only going to be putting it in labs at that time. Does that sentence make sense to you guys? Because I don't completely understand it, but it seems to me like it's supposed to be coming out on the 15th. It will initially be available in Battle Royale, creating new opportunities for coordination and unexpected iteration or interactions between nearby players and squads. So there you go. That's the confirmation. Some people had been saying this, and I wasn't sure if it was true or not, but proximity chat is actually not going to be coming to multiplayer yet. Launching the feature through Battlefield Labs in live will help us evaluate audio range, clarity, player controls, moderation tools, and features broader effect on the flow of a round. So, okay, then it's only going to be, multiplayer is only going to be labs. That's what it's got to be. Player feedback and live game data will shape and adjust as we make changes before bringing proximity chat to multiplayer at a later date. So there you go. The dream is still dead. It's just a battle bit, where if you want to have the full Battlefield dream experience, that's the only game for now. I wonder if War Dogs will be pulling that off, though. I do not know. I still got to catch up on a bunch of the War Dogs news. I know you guys come in and always talk to me about that game. It's going to be like a 50v50, insane, giant, like the scale that you would think about here. Anyways, maps in Season 5 next. Maps in Season 5. Look beyond Season 4. Season 5 will introduce 3 new maps as outlined in our 26 roadmap. Testing on these maps is already underway in labs, giving us an early opportunity to gather feedback, refine each experience ahead of the release. That's great. We're not ready to reveal where these new battles will take place just yet, but we can share more about the experiences they are being designed to deliver. One will focus more closely on infantry combat, while the other 2 will support larger scale combined arms warfare at the heart of Battlefield. Nice. This was the teaser shot that we saw there. In addition to these 3 maps, rework on Blackwell Fields and New Sobek City are currently planned to launch later in Season 5. That would be sick. Both of these maps I'm not interested in really playing. Even flying the helicopters is insane on that map. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, but that sounds cool. That's it's kind of like we're getting 5 new maps with the season, which would be sick. Which they'd add a command mode. I actually saw a labs or a portal mode that had like a commander mode in it. I kind of wanted to try it on stream, but we would obviously need a lot of players for that. And I don't know if we're at the point yet if we could fill a lobby with viewers yet. Nonetheless, oh, I forgot to even hit that live today. My bad. In addition to those 3 maps, rework for Blackwell Field. So before those updates reach the live game, we will begin testing them through labs. This will give players an opportunity to experience those changes early. So yeah, if you guys are interested in testing for labs, by all means, it's helped make the game better. And I know a lot of people don't stream the game. You just like enjoy the game and you want to give feedback. And it's like, how come the devs never listen to feedback, whatever? Join in, play the labs, give them the feedback directly. Tell them what you think about the game. And that's literally how it actually gets implemented. And they are very much listening to feedback on it. So, you know, if this point sucks, whatever, like, you know, give them the feedback on it. Server browser will enter labs testing ahead of its planned release in Season 5 as part of Phase 3, giving players an early opportunity to try the feature and help us refine the experience. The biggest thing for server browser, I mean, there's so many things, where to even start, but at least with currently with the game is set up, if you try to filter the game and like sort lobbies, it's so bad. Like the UI, I don't understand how it was better in a browser 5 years ago or 10 years ago, whatever it was. Battlefield 4 was so much better. Like if you wanted to just toggle, but this is their own game. Like maybe they could just put Chrome inside of Battlefield, because Chrome's good. Maybe they got to work out some type of deal with Google to make it happen, because they were able to like filter stuff, and it was quick. It was great. The system now is terrible. It does like it starts with recommended, and all the recommended lobbies are 0 players. It's ridiculous. But nonetheless, server browser will enter labs testing, release in season 5 as part of phase 3. So this is going to be the very end. Don't expect this coming really anytime soon here. Giving players an early opportunity to try the feature and help us refine the experience. We are also exploring how server browser can support a more persistent match flow, making it easier to remain with other players between rounds and complement the existing matchmaking experience. We'll share a closer look at server browser interface and the options available for finding servers in Battlefield Labs testing approaches. For now, here's what we can share with you on our progress. I mean, they do have a filters and a sort by button. But, yeah. Maybe it's, you know what, it's got to be because it has to help the console people, right? It's got to be usable by console, not just for mouse. That's probably why. I guess that's what it is. I fell off since leaving Ark. Yeah, I know. I'm just scraping by, dude. What can I do? Guys, click follow, please. Server browsers will provide another way to find matches, but it is not intended to replace the work underway on matchmaking itself. Matchmaking remains one of the most frequently discussed areas within the community, partially around the match quality and consistency. Our team are investigating concerns such as matches starting or backfilling with too many bots, significant differences in ticket count, and players being placed in high ping matches. I think part of the problem is even the discovery for matchmaking. Like, they have matchmaking, but if you want to play something more specific than just like attack and defend mixed onto Suru Reef, I'd rather just have a conquest onto Suru Reef. I don't want to play Rush. I don't want to play whatever. Or even like if I can matchmake into like a jet playlist, a playlist that are, or big map playlists, right? That would be something that I would queue into. But right now, like I tried to go to Liberation Peak and queue into that, and the lobby was half bots, and the only people that joined it and we got it to fill was because everybody stream sniped and just queued at the same time. So, you know, there's just kind of limitations with playing a lot of those maps. And then I even tried to do obliteration on the 2 other maps because they added obliteration for Goldman and then 2 other maps. I tried to play obliteration on the other 2, and the lobby didn't even start. So there's not even enough people to get the game to play on some of those like matchmaking things. And I think part of that is because the menu system is so trash. It's hard to figure anything out on it. And Portal is even worse. I'm kind of in shock that they haven't updated that yet, but you know what? That's another thing that people have been complaining about COD for years on, and they're actually making some changes and reverting it back to kind of how it was back in the day a little bit. So we'll see how they do it, because the competition has been fierce between these 2 games. And if COD can step it up, you know, DMZ pulls a little bit of the attention away, they might actually have to start making some implementations and make fixes, which would be great for us. Platoons also remain on track for Season 5, Phase 3. At launch, players will be able to create or join a platoon and use new tools to represent and organize their group in-game. So we'll probably make a platoon for our channel community here if you guys are interested in that, for our Discord server. Multiplayer leaderboards remain on track for Season 5, building a system to introduce ranked Battle Royale. This feature will be giving players new ways to track performance, compare their progress across multiplayer, and then, of course, ranked for multiplayer, which is very interesting because this, again, is going to further split people up. And also, I mean, I think they've made some strides to make the progression better in the game, but I don't know if it's going to be good enough to get people all the attachments for even ranked. I don't know. But let's see. Development of multiplayer rank is in progress, informed by what we learned from the launch of the ranked season in Season 3 for the Battle Royale side. This is multiplayer ranked we're talking about for Battlefield. Battlefield multiplayer ranked. Can you guys believe that? And how players continue to engage with the ranked experience throughout the season. The team is evaluating the rules and supporting systems needed to create competitive experiences that work at Battlefield's scale. That's the thing. They kind of have like the close range. Like I was just doing Rush on Tsuri Reef, which is very small. Like you don't have the vehicles, you don't have a lot of that stuff. But if you look at, there's even people that play competitively for Conquest and some of the big stuff already for big maps. But then you need to have jet players, you need to have tank players, you need to like have a set kind of crew with that. And I don't know. I don't know how that happens in a random fill game. Like, would you queue in as like, hey, I'm going to be more of a tank role player or what? It'll be very interesting because if you're going 32v32, you don't have as much control over your actual success in ranked unless you're going to base it off of individual stats, which maybe they do, but then it's more focused on like objective play. I don't know. But then if it's based on objective play, then you don't really want to play in a jet because you can't really play the objective super well as a jet unless jet gets different points based on its task, which jet's kind of main role is to eliminate, you know, attack jet on tanks and stuff. So anyways, it can get very convoluted quickly. I don't know how they do that. Or if it's just limited to, is it going to be multiplayer like TDM, Hardpoint, and like the classic like Call of Duty style close range maps? Or is it going to be the Battlefield style rank with big map style stuff? Delta Force has kind of big map rank system to it as well. That's not as hardcore of a rank style system, and it kind of mixes you in with casual players too. So that's like its own ballpark, but that's the closest kind of thing I've seen to it, at least. Multiplayer doesn't need ranked. Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of I don't know. It's very interesting, but I think they're trying to bring more players into the game as well, and like players that typically wouldn't play the game. I don't know if it's necessarily purely for the people who are already Battlefield players. You know what I mean? Although I think probably a lot of Battlefield long time like super sweat players will be interested in it. Well, we don't have a firm release window just yet. The team is continuing to evaluate the right time to introduce multiplayer ranked. We will provide another update as development progresses. I would guess they wait even until like season 6 for this. But we'll see. We'll see. Weapons, vehicles, and gadget balance. Recent gunplay changes in Season 3 have landed positively overall. In our community survey, sentiment around weapon balance has increased by 23 points from June to July. That's kind of cool. They even show that. They even say that. I'm assuming 23 points is referring to 23%, but I don't know what their metric even is. Let's see. Oh, cool. It even shows more stuff here. Wait. Turning from a negative to a positive feature. What do you guys think if they got rid of Bloom? Would you guys want them to remove Bloom in Battlefield? Yes or no? Most of you guys that are here are more Battlefield oriented anyways, but I'm curious what you guys think about it. Do you not like Bloom? They keep tuning it back from being like pure Bloom, but one or two, or yes or no in the chat. Would you like them to remove Bloom in Battlefield, or do you like the Bloom, the bullets? Like you aim at a target and the bullets just kind of randomly spread out, so it's not actually shooting where you're aiming. Like it's kind of more like first shot accuracy, like Fortnite, where it's like the first shot goes where you're aiming and then it kind of spreads out, and now you're aimed correctly, but the bullet's just and then you don't know, is it hit reg or what? But that forces you to then just stop and take another shot. You guys are more on the side of removing Bloom. That's interesting because it's kind of the way the game is already going. With the recent updates that have even been happening, they've been standardizing recoil more and toning down some more of the Bloom. I mean, even the attachments they added the violet laser. So while you're strafing, you don't get as much Bloom. But that's now a must pick on every attachment because like it's so much better like not having Bloom. So you aim and it actually shoots your target. It's valuable. Nonetheless, a better gunplay experience after Season 3 Phase 3 update. That was at the end of last season. We're now in Season 4. And this was that update I was just talking about. There you go. So community survey up 23 points. Gunplay highlights. Gunplay concerns. That's the adjustment. More players returned damage during fatal fights. What? More players returned damage during fatal fights. You got to be careful of those fights, guys. Got to be careful of those. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it probably means firefights. I think that's the other. I think that's the second typo we've read here. They just, if they run it through AI, it might help them. Reaction window improved. More players were able to respond before being eliminated. This improvement was observed across every measured distance range. So what, 0 to 9 meters up 4 points, 9 to 20 up 3, even further away. So that's accuracy. Anyways, okay. We're also reviewing gameplay data to better understand how those changes are affecting combat. Early indications suggest the average time to kill has increased and that players who win engagements are taking more damage than before, giving opponents more time to respond. So the other part of this was they made it so if you hit arm shots, you do less damage. If you hit leg shots, you do less damage. If you hit headshots, you do even more damage. If you hit upper torsos, you do even more damage. So that's what it means. If you're not super accurate with your shots, now the player is going to live longer. They'll have more time to turn around in a firefight and kill you and respond to that. So that's where I think some people who play the game more will enjoy things more. It takes some of that luck. Oh, you just get a lucky random headshot, or you get luckier on the burst spray, whatever, kind of comes into effect. These are encouraging signals, but they do not tell us the full story. Performance can vary considerably between weapons. One of the things with the update, for example, at the beginning of Season 4, they had it so two of the attachments. You probably saw Jack Frag's video on it. You could put a trigger, the match trigger on, and it made the gun have no bloom at all. So it turned into like a Call of Duty gun, because that's how COD guns work. They don't have bloom. If you're aiming your trigger, your crosshairs on the target, you will get the hit and you will get the bullet to land. You just control the recoil. Performance can vary considerably. Engagement ranges and different parts of the player base. So we are continuing to monitor the data and player feedback before drawing broader conclusions and making further changes. Our balance work also extends beyond weapons. We're reviewing vehicle combat and effective gadgets, including how these systems interact with infantry play and with one another across different modes. Something cool that they did with like the engineer was so that if you shoot a rocket that you just throw and you don't reload it, like the AT rocket, you can shoot it and then swap weapons to your primary, shoot and then swap back to your rocket, and then just shoot it right away. You don't have to swap back and then do another reload. The RPG, you still have to do a proper reload for, which I think is good. But all of the other ones, you just drop the rocket and you just pick it up. Same thing, like if you're out of rockets and you go to a med bag, if you fill your med bag up, you already have your rocket. You don't fill your med bag up, then pull it out, then reload, drop it down and pull another one, then shoot it, whatever. Which is really, I thought that's a nice change. Apparently that was an intended change as well. That's what chat was telling me. They posted saying that it was intended. Umthar, thank you for the 21 months as well. We're actively monitoring the balance of these areas alongside the content planned for the remaining of Season 4 and Season 5. We want the combat experience to continue to evolve based on your feedback, and we'll share details along with in-depth battle combat articles once decisions are finalized. More from the Q&A. During our recent Q&A, developers across the studio answered as many questions as possible. Thanks for joining and submitting. Below are those questions. Okay, now last time they had 1 billion of these. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of these. We're going to be here for 5 hours reading them all. So I think we're just going to have to see if there's anything in there that you guys heard that was really like standout or breaking news. Let me know. But I think that's as much as I can cover on this for now. And if there's anything else or clips on it, let me know. We'll take a look at the rest. But I think that's a pretty solid overview. If anything else bubbles up, though, I'll keep you guys updated.